Please welcome Dannii Minogue! I think they're excited.
Yeah, I am.
Does this happen wherever you go?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Especially at the school gate and all of that.
So congratulations on the Danniversary.
Yeah. 20 years later, I'm on a TV show talking about it. It's incredible and amazing fans that I've got. And
you said that like you know them, like they are at the school gate.
they are amazing fans. They've come to a lot of my gigs and stuff. Yes, yeah.
So does it feel like 20 years or more like 20 seconds?
It's gone pretty quick. Yeah. I've been pretty busy. But at the time you're releasing an album, you're working so hard, you don't get to enjoy it. So now I do get to enjoy it, which is cool.
Well, that's true, because when you're doing things, a lot of it's so instinctual and busy. Now that people are still dancing to you 2 decades later,
well,
how's that?
Vintage has kind of, had a resurgence. Like, we've got a record player at home again now.
Yes.
There's a cassette as part of the re-release, and my son kept asking me, how do cassettes work? And, you have to teach them the pencil trick.
I wanted to talk to you about this. So I have a 2004 Honda CR-V with a tape player, a cassette. I might be the last person in Australia with a cassette player that I use. So did you do this just for me?
Man, I've got some great mixtapes that I found from the 90s that you would love. I mean, you put it in, they're just like,
Do you think cassettes are going to have a revival in the same way that records have, vinyls have?
Absolutely, yeah. They've become a big part of like a release package. My cassette one has glitter in it, of course. Yeah, they've become a big thing, and kids love it. And you go to the stores and they're selling the little boom boxes and stuff.
So why are cassettes coming? Because it's so easy to think of all the reasons we left cassettes behind. Yeah. What makes them attractive all of a sudden?
It's the nostalgia for the older people like myself. But for the younger kids, there's nothing like a physical release and a record store and, going in with your money, paying for that. And it's like something big and physical that you can use. And, for those of you who have a car with a cassette player...
2004 Honda
CR-V.
That is
cool.
It's going to be on Taunton's T-Base.
I'm selling it. The cassette player is the most valuable thing in the car.
So you drive along, you got the window down, you're like, everyone, cassette player, cassette
exactly.
player.
You mentioned that vintage is in. Do you mean this vintage? So, for example, this is what I think you're...
Oh, my God.
Do you remember this dance?
It's a surprise I didn't win that competition, really.
So this is your first ever appearance on Young Talent Time. It's 1979. It's incredible to look at that.
I remember
Do you remember it?
Oh, God, I remember it. My grandma made the outfit for me. And
wow.
Yeah, she's still around. She's 103. She taught me how to sew. Yeah, no, I remember everything.
Were you practising, like, in front of the family? Was it that sort of setup?
Yeah,
and you do it
I went
after
to the
dinner or...
Johnny Young Talent School.
Right.
And so, they taught us songs there and I chose one of them and that was it. Yeah.
Little Shirley Temple.
I know, right?
So adorable, all these years later. I learned a great word from your fans in the front row today.
Yes.
Monogamous.
Oh, yeah.
Which means absolutely adore everything Minogue. And we saw you and your sister Kylie perform at Pride.
Ta-dum.
Was that just wild? First time in 8 years?
It was wild. It was the day before we were rehearsing and the sound guy that I've worked with him before with Kylie, he said, gosh, it's been 8 years since your last performance. And at that point I went, oh gosh, that's why I'm so nervous. It was such a joy. Coming up from Melbourne to Sydney after lockdown to be able to enjoy a crowd of people and music. There's nothing like that, a live gig.
Well, it's like what you share with your fans brings you together in a communion that's like very eternal, that
you
they
never
love you.
forget a pop concert. And I just came back from London. One of the flight attendants came up to me and he said, stop doing it. And I said, what? And he said, surprising me. I was in London at Royal Albert Hall when you popped out from behind the stage. I was in Sydney at World Pride. And I said, OK, well, we're going to go for the 3, for the trifecta.
Oh, so you should stop turning up at his school gate. You really should. You can get your hands on Neon Nights this Friday, or you can pre-order online. I don't know what the cassette looks like, but that's the record.
I'll see it in my car.
All the info is on our links page. Please thank Dannii Minogue.